The best salespeople in the world are the ones who do it without you even noticing. Everyone's a salesperson, especially if you're an entrepreneur. In the I'm Not Salesy podcast, join me, Cassie McKenzie, and my fabulous guests as we dive into the top strategies, mindset, and energetics around sales and money so that you can hear more yes, I'm in instead of crickets or getting ghosted. So if you're ready to fully book out your programs with aligned AF clients and have people chasing you down in your inbox asking how to work with you, then subscribe to this podcast today and become not salesy too. So my name is Cassie McKenzie, and welcome to Get More Yes in the DMs. So this masterclass was inspired by a lot of conversations that I am having every single day with coaches and consultants online, as well as friends that are online and people who are in like masterminds or group programs and things with me. And so I wanted to hop on here and tackle this big question of what helps you get more people saying yes to you in the DMs. So I just want to tell you for a second. So if you don't know me already, I'm Cassie McKenzie, and I am a sales coach for coaches and consultants. I help you sell your coaching offers without feeling salesy, which is obviously something that other people aren't very good at. If you're. And I'm also a sales trainer. I have a 23-year background in pharmaceutical sales and sales training, trained over 1,000 reps, and now in my coaching business into the hundreds for how to really grow a business and sell online. And it's a topic I love talking about. So I'm really happy to be bringing this here today and to answer a few of these questions that have been coming up a lot, to be honest, in my community. So to me, first and foremost, I want to say that this really is so much more than just getting them to say yes, right? If you've been selling coaching offers online, you know it can be tough. It can feel weird as hell. And that's even before you get into the DMs, right? That's like even just having that strength and having that courage to even go online and talk about your offers can be a lot, especially if you come from a corporate background and you're not used to popping in on LinkedIn or having a YouTube channel or even having a podcast. Like I have a podcast called I'm Not Salesy. My previous podcast, The Topless Manifestor, got to 45,000 downloads. It's still going. But now in I'm Not Salesy, like if I didn't feel confident and comfortable coming on and owning my genius around sales, it'd be really, really hard to make sales, right? And so to me, you've got to think of the bigger picture. You've got to think of the community, like the bigger movement you're creating, a connection that you're building with people, and having that long-term big view of you're building something that lasts instead, and also like making a name for yourself instead of just trying to get a sale or trying to get them to say yes. So because when I first came online and I hired my first, business coach or two, I heard get people on sales calls a lot, and so that was really the goal. Get as many people as you can on sales calls. And I get the reasoning behind that because you really do need to have practice. Like you need to have practice verbalizing the things that you're saying, that you, like your key messages and, practice selling your offers online and practice talking to other people because when you're in a corporate job you are like given your clients and you're given your work and you're given the coworkers you have, but when you come online that's all like strangers on the internet. It just becomes like it can feel like you're talking to a big void instead of talking to a room full of people who showed up to listen to you. And you probably get that too. But if you want a coaching business online that's successful, first of all, you've got to learn how to sell. Otherwise, you're not going to make money and you just have a hobby. But also, you've got to do it in a way that has longevity and has that staying power because a lot of people get in it for the short game, looking to see like how many sales can I make in a week? I see that person making, 100 sales a week and now I think I should be doing that too. When really it doesn't work that way because you've got to do things with a longer vision in mind, right? So when I first came online, I heard get people on sales calls. And so I did, and I did market research calls. And what I found was that I was on the phone so much, and I have two young kids that I'd much rather be spending time with than people who were unqualified, that never planned to invest in me, that just wanted free advice. They want to keep me on. So it was almost like a therapy session for them. And then I just constantly felt like, oh my God, I should be spending this time with my family or actually helping clients and helping people. Like, what do I need to do to sign clients so I can actually feel like I'm helping somebody who's going to do something with what I've given them? Because it actually matters to me that you take action. I mean, a lot of people just want to make money, but like it matters to me that you get better at what you're doing so that you can take the action and then actually help other people and help the clients you're meant to help. Because I really do believe that if you've been given a desire, like if you have a desire to sign clients, then you can sign clients. God wouldn't have given you that desire if you weren't meant to have it. It wouldn't even be in your mind. It wouldn't even resonate with you. So if you inherently believe that you're meant to sign clients, then it's time that you do. And so in order to do that, you need to take the action and be aligned and all that jazz. But like I had to just decide what I wanted there. And so I decided to learn how to do 99% of the sales in the DMs, which meant I refined my content. I moved more into like mega expert authority positioning, which I teach in my Sales Queen Takeover group program about how to really stand out as a leader online and make sales, right? And so that also includes simplifying your process for the inbound and the outbound people. So, what I mean by that is when you have content, you're posting content that resonates with your audience, they're going to reach out to you and they're going to say, how do we work together? And also, you're going to just naturally notice other people that you're going to want to start conversations with outbound because they'll be ideal clients of yours. So, you're going to need to know how do you reach out to those people, right? And so, I perfected this and spent a lot of time and a lot of energy learning how to do this and how to get people inbound, reaching out to me, asking about my programs. Because believe me, for a long time there, it was zero. And then before I knew it, I had like so many people, not too many, but like so many people reaching out and so many conversations going on that I had to create a process for that too. But that's another story. But really, what it ends up being is having a $5,500 day in the DM, signing high ticket clients straight into your coaching programs without needing a sales call. And that's my reality now. I don't really do sales calls. I do very few of them. And usually it's like a confirmation of, yeah, this is great for you. And this is great for me. Let's do it. Kind of like a celebration. And I only do it like once in a blue moon. But what I've seen is a lot of people when they come into the DMs, and maybe you're saying this too, and drop me a yes. Actually, let me go back. Drop me a yes in the chat if you're watching this now and you would love to have people who are reaching out to you asking how to work together instead of the other way around. You know, wouldn't that be amazing? Just like, how awesome would that be? I feel like that's the dream, and it's like, it's a dream that a lot of people don't know how to make happen. Like, it's just kind of like an enigma. You know what I mean? Just kind of like, how do I do that? Right? So, that's what I want to teach you how to do. And, okay, so drop a yes in the chat if you're watching this and there's a chat and you can do that. I'd love to hear from you. Also, what a lot of people do, and maybe you're saying this, so let me know if you said any of these things before too, but you're talking to somebody in the DMs and they're thinking like, oh my God, this girl is asking the most awkward questions. Like you get to the point where you're like, I want to ask him questions about business. And you get in your head and you're like, oh my God, they must think I'm so awkward. They must think I'm XYZ. They're going to think I'm strange or rude or nasty or whatever to ask them a business related question in my DMs, right? Like, or you feel the need to pitch them right away because that's what you've seen other people do, which sucks, right? Or, you tell the story about how it's really not easy to build a relationship in the DMs. And trust me, if you have sat with your friend at happy hour for any length of time, you know how to create a relationship and help people. That's literally as easy as it can be. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to fix that today. And just hang on one second because I'm using a new software streaming into what do you call it? Streaming into crap. Here it is. Oh, hi, Fahad. Good to see you. Hello. Okay, now I'm seeing comments. I wasn't seeing comments before. So I'm new. This is my very first. I'm streaming into, let me say, YouTube, which I love. If you aren't following me on YouTube, go over there. But I've never done a live stream there before. So if you're watching me on YouTube, still comment. I will come back and see you. But then also on LinkedIn, I've never used LinkedIn Live before, but I love going live and I love doing videos. So you'll be seeing a lot more of these moving forward. So I'm sorry, I'm just starting to see my comments here. So I'm going to keep checking in with you here. But if you've ever said any of those things before, you're going to stop doing that because Mama Cass will be out for you. And let's see. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to fix this because chances are, and let me know, you've got to really think about what you want out of this. A lot of people skip this step. Okay. You skip the step and go straight to what actions am I supposed to take? And then you're like, I'm going to take them. And then you don't take them because you don't have the confidence. And we're going to get to that too. But you got to think about what you want out of this. So is it that you want to meet or exceed your sales goal? I know that for me, that I'm a goal oriented person. So I love that. So is it 5K months, 10K months, or just replacing your corporate income, however much that is? Do you want to know how to handle it when people ghost you or how to recover quickly from it when they do instead of letting it ruin the whole rest? Like say you're having a great conversation with somebody and all of a sudden they drop off the face of the earth. Are you making it mean something about you that they are instead of thinking, oh, they might have a life, it might have been 4th of July, I don't know, maybe they'll come back, maybe come back, right? Or some people, a lot of my clients want to know how to get more people on sales calls, which is totally cool. Or to download your freebie or buy your offer or join your membership without looking salesy. Now, I've done all of those things in the DMs, even after just being on LinkedIn for a couple of weeks. So you don't need to be on LinkedIn or promoting all your stuff for like a year in order to make 6 figures. It's absolutely possible. You just need to learn how to sell in a non-salesy way that feels good to you, which is what I help you do. Okay. So, but also what this all means is you need to know how to get people to open up. And you need to know what questions to ask so that you can transition smoothly into the sale. Because what a lot of people do is they freeze when they get to that point where you're like, oh my God, where do I go from here? I can see that they have a need, but I'm afraid to present my offer. And so knowing how to transition smoothly and so that you become somebody who like they literally see your name in Messenger and they get excited to see that you've responded. Like, have you ever worked with a coach or expected an email back from, somebody and you're buying something from them and you just have a question and you're like, God, I really want to buy this right now, but I'd love to know what the answer is. And like you're tempted to just buy it without the question being answered. Drop me a yes if that's ever been you. But so when you see them finally pop into the DMs, you're like, fuck yeah, like this, you're so great. Like, I'm so excited, like wonderful. That's how it is, right? They want the conversation to continue and you want them to feel that way too, right? And you want the conversation to continue too. Sorry. Okay. So drop me a yes if that's been you. Now, I told you when you signed up for this or you saw the invite that I was going to tell you about the number one myth that most coaches believe that keeps you broke. Now, what I have seen from clients and conversations in the DMs with you guys, that there's this belief running around for most people. These people who I say are obviously not making many sales, if any, in the DMs, but there's a belief that if you ask business related questions, you're automatically going to look salesy and get ghosted. So you may as well not ask them at all. And so what you end up doing is you end up having this conversation, a lovely conversation with somebody that goes nowhere, or that you end up getting friend zoned, or you get ghosted because they get bored from the conversation. People want to be challenged, especially if they have a problem. Okay. And so I had this too, though. Like, I don't want to like call you out and be like, but like, I never had that problem. Like, I totally did too. I get what you mean because, you know, for me, since I have a sales background and I'm used to going into like doctor's offices and I'm used to having conversations with the receptionist and the janitor and like who person in the parking lot, like I'm great at starting conversations with people. So that for me is a genius zone that I help you with too. But so starting the conversation in a non-salesy way can be easy. But what I found was that when I got beyond that, it felt like I was going to bother them. And drop me a yes if you've ever felt that way. Fahad says, whoop, whoop. Yes, that's happened to me. Yeah. So, it felt like beyond that I was bothering them. And it felt like awkward. And I didn't know where to take it. Like I was having a great start to the conversation, but then it was going nowhere. Or I'd ask people like, a question or two, and I'd get an answer. But I was afraid to take that next step forward because I wasn't really confident in what to say. And what this comes down to, and what I decided was that I needed to work on my confidence and I needed to, and a lot of times a process that you have will create that trust because everything comes down to trust. You need them to trust you, but then you also need to trust yourself. And what that comes down to is what I call the confidence trifecta. You have confidence, not just, a lot of people think, oh, I need confidence just in me. And that's not the case at all. That's a part of it. That's a big part of it, you know, but there's more. And here's what it is. And this is going to help you get past this myth. And I want you to report back when you've used the things that I tell you in here because they work. Okay. So you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe that no one else has been able to fix this for them yet. So you are literally the only one who can. And I do this all the time where I'll see, like for this, I was like, oh, talking in the DMs, like the biggest imposter syndrome that comes is when you like are really, really great, like you're a genius at something and you think you still need to know more or do more in order to be qualified to teach people. That happens all the time. That's what a lot of people do. But really, that's just holding you back from signing the clients that you're meant to help. So for the confidence trifecta, this is part you, this is part your offer, and this is also part of your audience. All right. You have confidence in all three of these areas. And what I started looking at was how can I believe even more that I'm the only one? I'm the only solution for you to fix this problem in the DMs, right? I had over 20 people sign up for this in like less than 24 hours. So that tells me that there's a big need. And there's a lot of people, I could tell myself the story of there's a lot of people out there already teaching on DMs. And so why would they need me? But instead, I say there's a lot of people out there teaching on DMs and you're still signing up for this, which means those people haven't found that way to close the gap for you yet. And I am that person for you. So there's that level of confidence. Also, then you need to know in your heart that your offer is the exact answer for their prayers. And the way that you know that is by being in touch with who that person is that you're trying to sell to. Okay. Who is that highest level of your ideal client who believes that your offer is going to be able to make them more money or save them more time or make them feel better about themselves? All right. You need to have that like uber level confidence of your offer is the exact answer to their prayers. And then finally, your audience. I had to take a look at my audience. There were a lot of stories, and the stories that I was telling in my head were nobody can afford what my prices are, or these people are saying no, so that means these people aren't ready yet, or these people are like saying now is not the right time, or I don't have the money, and so nobody has the money. Like drop me a yes in the chat if these are stories you told yourself as well about selling offers online, because they all are complete BS. Okay. Total BS. The truth is, there is always that person out there who needs it right now, who values their time over the money that they're going to spend. If we're using the money example, right? They want to look better and feel better and have more money and make more time back, and spending this little amount of money to solve that problem is beyond worth it for them. It's the answer to their prayers. And for that, it's priceless, right? So when I started to expand my mindset to think there are clients who are a hell yes right now, and they are looking at my content. They might not be commenting, they might not be liking it, they might not be doing any of that, but that doesn't mean that they can't go run, grab their credit card, reach out to me and say, send me the link and join that day because they're like, I am over it. I've had my enough is enough moment and I am ready. And there are those people in your audience too. So once I cleaned this up, like energetically, you clean up your energy around you, around your offer, and around your confidence. I mean, your audience, and you step into that next level of the confidence, then you start making $5,000 days. You start making sales in the DMs. You start asking the right questions because you have the confidence that they want you to, right? And when you show up with this energy of they want me to ask these questions, they expect me to ask these questions, then guess what? They're going to answer them. Though energy matches energy, okay? So if you're approaching this with, they're going to think I'm weird or awkward or why am I asking this question, then what do you think they're going to think, right? You need to come to it with this energy of they want me to ask this question. They're happy that I am. Somebody's got to ask it, and it may as well be me, because if I don't ask it, then they're going to wait for somebody else who does, and then they're going to sign with them. And they're not meant to work with them. They're meant to work with me because I'm the only one that can solve this for them. Does that land? Drop me a yes if this lands for you. Okay? Because this is really about, drawing those people in, even if it's the first time they've met you. You've got to be open to the fact that you can go from never having spoken to somebody before and having them buy from you that same day. Having somebody find you on Tuesday and buy from you Tuesday afternoon. Or even better yet, oh, yeah, you're listening from Pakistan. I love it. Yay, welcome. That's so fun. And then, or having them find you, reach out to you at 9 a.m. and then pay you at 10. Okay. Now, another piece of this beyond that confidence trifecta that you will master when you're in my world, because I don't give you an opportunity not to. And we go more in detail with this in the Sales Queen Takeover, of course, because sales is all about confidence. It's all about selling yourself. Okay. And yeah, being online can sometimes feel like a nonstop interview, but think about it. You're selling yourself. People are buying you. They're not really buying what you're selling, what like your offer, even though they are. They're buying the way that you're going to, deliver it for them. Okay. So, and what you really need to clean up is your content. Having that authority content for me was a huge difference maker in having more people reaching out inbound. And that was another piece of what I had to clean up. And that's why in the Sales Queen Takeover, we go through this first. This is the first set of modules of cleaning up that content to show up as an authority so that your highest level ready now. I've got my credit card. I want to pay you. I want to work with you. I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to take the action. Those clients are there reading your content, reaching out to you, seeing your live streams, listening to your podcast, and actually taking that next step to make the move to do something about it. Okay. So, and that all comes from like authority-based content. And because most people, like I find, here's the thing, and this is another thing I didn't plan on telling you, but most people have the issue with like having conversations in DMs because you don't get enough practice with it. And in my 20 years online or not online, but 20 years as a sales trainer, the number one thing that we do with seasoned sales reps who have been selling for decades is practice. You get there, you practice your messaging, you get in training, you practice what we call them verbalizations, verbalizing your messaging, like spitting it out, like getting it out, refining it, figuring out how it how it sounds best and feels best coming from you and adding your own selling style. We're going to get to that in a second. But knowing exactly how to verbalize your own message and create content that sounds like you, so it really feels like you're having a conversation over happy hour with somebody, that's that is like the biggest thing that's going to help you get experience. And if you're not getting experience, um, with like if you're not starting conversations outbound with people, then you're not going to really know what to do when they reach out inbound, because it's going to be like it's going to feel like you don't have many people to talk to, so when you do, like, you want to latch on to them and get kind of clingy, and then it just goes sideways from there. So I'm a big believer in starting aligned conversations with people, like you learning how to reach out to people you just connected with, um, so that you can get more comfortable in the DMs and it just becomes seamless and natural and like something you do every day because you are doing it every day. Where it's like, oh, no big deal. Oh, I've got like 10 messages in my DMs. Let me go respond to them really quick. Instead of seeing that one DM that's been sitting there and you're like, oh my God, what did they say? Did they say yes? Did they write back? Or, you know what I mean? There's no pressure when you feel like you have an abundance of messages there. Okay. So, that being said, though, know what's crappy content and what's magnetic. And if you don't know how to do that, so Fahad says authority content equals busting myths, case studies, and testimonials. That's part of it, yeah. But it's actually story selling too, can be authority content. The content that positions you beyond the here's the how to. The authority content leaves that person saying, I not only know what to do, but I know this is the right person to help me walk through it. I can link arms with this person and like really collapse that timeline of how long it's going to take me to get there, because they can literally take me through a process that works instead of me having to figure out, like I can give you 5 steps to take to bake a cake, right? But it doesn't mean you're going to follow those 5 steps completely and 100% correctly. Like sometimes things are lost in translation. So when you have somebody, when your content is literally saying, hey, not only am I going to teach you how to bake a cake, but here's how I did it. Here's some of the mistakes I made. Here's how I got over that. And how you can avoid doing that too, so that you don't have to go back to the freaking store 10 times and get your cranberries again. Like, no. Okay. So, okay. Once you're in the DMs though, you got to know what questions to ask. And the other thing, so what I told you today, I was going to help you understand is the exact questions to ask to get people to open up, right? And to get to the sale faster without feeling salesy. And so you can start to hear more people saying yes instead of you getting ghosted or friend zoned, right? So this all comes down to asking the right questions. So if the questions you're asking aren't getting the right answers, and you're not getting yes, or you're not getting commitments, or you're getting ghosted, or you get friend zoned, or you're like, shoot, you're getting yes or no answers, then we need to clean this up. All right. So the key to getting more yes, because like I know, like going back to my own experience, when I was first starting out, like I said earlier, I was allowing that rapport to go on so long, and I was getting yes or no answers from somebody. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and I realized that I needed to pique that natural curiosity. I really had to like build the connection, all right? And make the people who I was speaking to in the DMs feel seen and heard. Because when I first started out, I tried using templates and scripts, right? I tried those templates, and it didn't work for me because it didn't feel natural. It felt forced. And I felt like I was trying to go from A to B to C to D, when maybe sometimes in a conversation, you're going to go from A to G back to B and then to F. And I can't give you a script for that. I can only teach you how to do it with your own selling style, so that it sounds conversational instead of robotic. Because if you follow a script, people are going to get bored, or they're going to think you sound weird because you're asking a question that some other freaking person would ask in their own way, and it's not phrased in the way that would sound normal and natural coming from you. Most recently, I was helping a client with with this exact issue. And what I found was that when he was asking the questions in the DMs and then following up with the answers, the type of answers were ones that sounded good. They were filled with jargon. They were filled with like words like I was like, why are you trying to sound smart? You're smart on your own. Like add personality. Let's look at how we can, and it was because he didn't have confidence in it, right? He was trying to follow a script that he had found from somebody else, and it just didn't feel right. Instead of saying, okay, what's your experience? What's this person's experience? And how can we mold those together so that you can totally wow them while also making them feel seen and heard? All right. What can you do to prompt a response? So this is not going to be a yes or no question. If you're getting a lot of yes and no, then that means you're asking too many closed-ended questions. And how people love talking about themselves. So you need to start asking questions where it's like more of a natural conversation with two humans and an internet connection in between them, like instead of having like a table in between you at happy hour. All right. Because that connection is going to be your energy. Your energy is felt. Your confidence can be like super palpable. And that's how you get to more yes. All right. This starts with creating your own selling style and having it match the presence that you build online. So I talked earlier about your authority content, writing content that is from your perspective, not just a how to, but here's how I did it and here's how you can too type of content. So that, you know, personality you have, like the way of speaking, just when it comes through in your content, and then when you're speaking with somebody in the DMs or messaging back and forth, and it sounds just like you, there's that continuity, then that's when you know you've mastered your own selling style. Okay. And so you want to make sure that all matches. You want to have that cohesiveness. Like, and when I saw people offering templates and scripts, like I didn't know how to create content or do a discovery call. So that's what I did too. And my results felt crappy. They felt forced. It felt like I was putting pressure on people to answer and it just didn't feel natural. And it was just like a big old hot mess. So, if you're afraid of looking like you're selling something, or you don't really know how to start a conversation with a stranger like I didn't, then this is where creating your own selling style comes in. Let me look at the comments. So this says, thank you for clarifying. And yes, okay, cool. Yeah. So does this landing with you? Do you understand what I mean by your own selling style? Because this is a big lesson that, whoopsie, what am I? It's like backwards. So I'm like adjusting myself like backwards. Okay. So see, my selling style is me being myself, kooky ass self, and showing up online and showing that, because this is what you get in a sales call. I mean, a client call and a training. I don't think you need to be a big old robot in order to have a successful online business or be a successful salesperson. So back when I started in pharmaceutical sales, like I've worked for multiple Fortune 100 companies and been a sales trainer for all of them, for all of the ones that I worked for, not all of the companies out there, but all of the ones that I personally worked for, like J&J and Sanofi and IQVIA and a few others. But they, when I first started out as a 21-year-old, fresh out of college, braces, bad haircut, I looked like I was about 14 years old, and I was calling on customers that were sometimes, some of them were 3 times my age. They'd been to school for almost as long as I'd been on earth. And I started to realize that in order to be successful, I couldn't just mimic what somebody else did from A to Z, because their style did not match my style. It didn't feel normal. It didn't feel natural. And 100% of sales is you feeling natural and normal implementing the actions that you need to take. Okay. As soon as you feel awkward, you're going to be like, I don't know. They're going to be like, what the hell is wrong with that chick? Something feels off. I just got to go. Okay. Now, I shadowed every single person on my team because we had a really high performing team. I was really lucky to have a great manager, and there were 10 people who all were in like the top, I think 10 or 20% of nationwide. And my territory was the only one that was like at the very bottom, which is why I took which is why I got my job, because that other person didn't have one anymore. Anyway, so I took from each of these people, each of the reps, I watched them. I watched how they interacted. I chose humor from this person and how to sell clinically from this person. I took how to like woo the front lady and get to know, do small talk and build rapport from another person, and how to really call somebody out when they're feeling apathetic from another. And then I put this all together and made my own sales style. And this is what I teach you how to do also in the Sales Queen Takeover, because I'm a huge believer in you need to sell in a way that feels good to you. And to get more yes, you've got to practice selling in your own selling style. Because like I said before, selling yourself online can feel like a nonstop interview. So I had to create my own style when I came online in my coaching business, just like when I started 23 years ago as a pharma rep and a pharma trainer. And no one else is teaching this online. I've literally looked. It's because like I had to create my own process, all right? Like I became my own best sales trainer and took myself through what I call my yes client framework and created a list of questions that felt good to me, and actually approached things from a natural curiosity. And the result that I got from that is I started to be able to sell everything from like a $19 membership to multiple $1,000 group programs, like $3,000 group programs, 4,000, 5,000. And it became easy to have conversations, like sales conversations with people. And it became easy to know which ones weren't aligned, and which clients are the best ones to say no to and which ones are the best ones to say yes to, because that's going to impact you too. So all of like the energetics and the strategy all comes together with and I say energetics, like your mindset, your beliefs, your like the energy you bring to the table, your confidence, that confidence in yourself and your offer and your audience. All of that, when you put it with the strategy, that's what makes your DMs like irresistible to people, and it makes your sales calls and your content irresistible to people, especially if you're doing it in an authentic way. That's why I don't believe in teaching with like sales scripts. I believe in you learning how to sell, especially in the DMs, because it can save you a lot of time and headache, and just you don't have to get on sales calls if you don't want to. But if you want to, you can apply this to that too. But like I believe in teaching you how to do this in your own way, because there's a lot of people out there that want to say, follow this script or follow this template, and you're going to fall short, and you're going to get frustrated. And if you get frustrated, you might quit, and your people need you. Your people need you. Like if you've had this desire and you're meant for more and you're meant to create this movement, your people need you to sell your offers so that they can join them. There's a ripple effect. That's why it goes so far beyond making money, because there are people on the other side of the screen where you're typing and putting your content out who are hoping and praying for somebody like you to show up in their feed. And if you give up, then they'll never find you. And that is a bummer. Okay. So please say simple. Yes, simple. Definitely a simple sales process. Okay. So this is how you get to more yes. You get to more yes by being yourself, by having that conviction. The questions that you ask are going to be questions that are open-ended. Okay. I want you to work on noticing if you're approaching the questioning as they don't want to hear from me, versus approaching it from the energy of, damn, they're happy to see me in their DMs and they want me to ask this question of them. Because what's the worst that can happen? What, they just don't answer it, and who cares? That means they're just not ready for you right now. They weren't going to buy from you right now anyway, or fix their problem right now anyway. And you also need to know how to verbalize this in a way that's going to show your value. Okay. When you show up and you're able to articulate, like close that gap between like what they really want from you, what they would love for you to provide, and what they would love, like their expectations be completely blown away, and tie it to the problem that they're having now and fill that gap in with your experience and showing them your authority and how you're the best one out there, then that's how you're going to start to make a ton of sales out there. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop some questions in the chat. I know Fahad's been asking questions and I love it. And Shiraz has too, because I really feel like this is not spoken about enough. Like there's a lot of people out there saying, ask this question and ask this question. Or, oh my God, the worst right now, what I'm seeing going around is the ones that are like, start your DMs out with, hi, I thought you might want to use my freebie. And nobody actually said they wanted to. Okay. By the way, I think that's a horrible way to start a conversation with somebody, because it'd be like someone showing up to your door with unsolicited advice and you'd be like, who the hell are you? Like, go away. You know what I mean? That's how I would be like, why? Like, if I'm going through a problem, I don't need you showing up and being like, I noticed you have this problem. What I want you to do is feel it out, get to know me, ask me some questions, tailor it to let me know, because guess what? That problem might be bigger or smaller than what you're imagining it for it to be. Okay? And the only way you're going to know is by having a great discussion with them, asking the right questions, having them, really feel seen and heard, having the confidence behind yourself that this goes far beyond the money that you're going to make by making the sale. This goes into changing lives on a global scale. And then having the confidence and courage to keep showing up for yourself every single day. Okay. So I mentioned my program, the Sales Queen Takeover, and I want to tell you about that if that's cool. This starts next week. So this is my 4-month group program that I teach you how to create your own selling style so that you can confidently sign clients and it no longer feels pushy and you actually feel like you're helping people solve a problem. You know how to create the questions that you want to ask in your DMs, in your sales calls. We practice that, we verbalize, we create your messaging. You have my eyes. Like, this is the unique thing about this program, is that you have me reviewing your DMs and your content to give you real-time feedback about how to tweak it so that people aren't ghosting you, and then you've got more people that are reaching out to you inbound, and so that you're getting to that yes faster. So you can feel like you're helping people and actually get started working with these clients faster. Okay, that's the goal, right? So I'm going to also teach you exactly how to post the content that props you up as the number one choice so that people are reaching out to you inbound. You call it inbound leads, but people are reaching out to you asking how to work together, seeing if there's space for them in your one-on-one or your group programs or your membership, and then creating those long-term loyal client relationships that help like the sustainability, not just of your business, but theirs too, and their life or whatever your genius zone is. So this program actually starts next week. We've already started dropping the pre-work. I've been doing a week and a half of pre-work so that you can get your mind straight and really start to get a fast uptake, right? We want fast results. So when you work with me, there's a lot of momentum. I work quickly. It really matters to me that this is a simple process so that you keep showing up and you take the action so that you get the results. And we have weekly coaching calls where I do training, like a short sales training. And then we also work on sales simulations and verbalizations. I got my tricks up my sleeve as a trainer for how to take these real world scenarios and let you practice them prior to you actually encountering it in real life, so that when you finally do and you're on that sales call, you're in the DMs and you're having a conversation with somebody, that you're not only confident but effective at closing the sales so that you can start working with your clients faster. All right. Fahad says, I've gotten Cassie's Big Money Vibes program. This woman knows exactly what she's talking about and helps you get concrete results. I highly recommend investing her heart. Thank you. Thank you so much, Fahad. I love it. Thank you so much. Yes, you did. I need to talk to you about that. And yeah, so DM me on LinkedIn, or you can comment here on the video. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn or on Instagram at XO Cassie McKenzie on Instagram, because we get started next week. I've got bonuses for the next 3 people who join. There's one bonus that's a month of one-on-one Voxer coaching access so that you have me in your back pocket. There we do a one VIP call as well. And then you'd also get instant access into my LinkedIn lunch break program. And LinkedIn lunch break is all about teaching you how to attract aligned leads on LinkedIn in under an hour a day. So it's designed for you to have a simple process. I'm all about the simple process because that's going to build that trust. It's also going to get you quicker results because it's complicated things really suck, in my opinion. So thank you so much for joining me today. This is so much fun. I think I'm going to have to come back and do more of these. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing what you create from this. Be sure to reach out to me if you try the, if you're put into action what I taught you today. I'd love to hear about the great results that you get. Bye.